Hey everybody, my name is Doug Pardick. I'm an independent financial planner here in Littleton, Colorado. I'm teamed up with a group of other very wise and experienced advisors, and we're bringing you some videos that are educational on the topics of investing and financial planning. Our mission is to strengthen our community and strengthen the families within those communities by helping folks make excellent financial decisions. And I also teach classes in the spring and the fall, and by being a client of mine, you're supporting me in that adventure and then in that mission. So I appreciate that. But let's get into today's topic. It's called sequence of return risk. And as you get closer to retirement or you're in retirement, you absolutely want to know what this risk is and how to address it. And there's a lot of different ways to do retirement income planning. And the process that we use mitigates this risk really well. So let's get into what this risk is. So take a look at this first slide. And this shows you 3 bar charts. This is representing 3 different investors. The first investor at the top, the bar charts show that he has a great returns in the first few years of retirement. And then he has bad returns near the end. The third individual has steady 5% annual returns for all 30 years during his retirement financial plan. And then the third investor there at the bottom in the green bars has a really bad start and then finishes strong. Now you're going to notice that all 3 of these investors had the same rate of return, 5%. They all started with $1 million and they began withdrawing off of that $1 million portfolio using the 4% rule, taking 4% out and then increasing that distribution by 2% every year to keep up with inflation. And this 4% rule is dangerous. It's not the best way to manage your retirement income plan. And if your advisor's using that or they really don't have a plan, please give me a call. All right, so let's get back to the slide. So we look at all 3 investors. How did they do over a 30-year period? Well, we see the blue line. That's the great start, bad end experience. And over those 30 years, that investor took out the withdrawals, taking 4% with an increase every year, and they ended up with $1.7 million left over at the end of 30 years. So that's a good experience. The second investor, the steady average 5% return the whole time, they didn't do as well, but still decent. They finished with $800,000 left over. And then the third investor had a bad start and never got to those good years in years 25 through 30, and they ran out of money. There was a 7-year gap there. So how do 3 investors starting with the same $1 million, taking the same withdrawal rate, 4%, and they all average 5%, how do they have 3 different experiences? Well, it's all about sequence of returns. If you have good returns early on, you're probably going to be okay. If you have bad returns early on, well, then you're running the risk of running out of money. And that is the number one fear of the investors that I talk to that are planning for retirement. Running out of money is not an option, and it's very scary. It's a big fear. So how do we address that? So here at Talon Wealth Strategies, the team and I, we've put together this approach. It's been around for a long time, and this is the one that we've found that reduces this risk plus others. It's called using the bucket system. So here we go. Here's an illustration that's really simple to see, simple for me to explain to you. You've got a bag of money, that's your $1 million portfolio in this example. And then we separate that $1 million to cover expenses in segments, years 1 through 5. Bucket 2 takes care of expenses in 6 through 10. Bucket 3 can grow for a while, but by year 11, it's converted into a preservation bucket 1 portfolio, and it covers your expenses in years 11 through 15. Once you get through that batch of years, then you go to bucket 4. And we may build you buckets 5 and 6. Another bucket I often add to clients' plans is called a legacy or a buffer account. And this money, and it could be a small amount because it's got plenty of time to grow. It's got 25 to 30 years of market exposure to grow and double and double and double over time because you've got good growth investments inside of it. That bucket is your longevity risk bucket. So if you run out of money, you've gone through all your other 5 buckets that you've allocated over at the beginning of retirement. If you run out, you've got that last bucket just in case. And if you never need it, well, then it's for your legacy. It's for the kids, it's for the grandkids, it's for the charity, whatever your goals are. So this is a really good way of mitigating this sequence of return risk. So in years 1 through 5, if the market is plunging and going down, you don't have to worry about it because you've got a bucket one that's built around preservation of capital type of investments. That's the goal, is to not lose any money and keep the volatility very low, and you can live off of that. Bucket two is going to have a little bit of stock market exposure, but still is pretty darn conservative, and it's designed to give us a certainty of having those assets there come year 6 and through 10. So to learn more about how we do this, how we build our portfolios, how we manage all this, please give me a call. Again, my name is Doug Pardick, 303-951-5987, and we'll see you soon.